A day after the Baltimore Ravens backed out of the trade, which was Maxx Crosby, the Ravens agreed to sign free agent defensive end Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $112 million deal, which could be worth up to $120 with incentives. Wednesday, Ravens GM Eric DeCosta addressed speculation that Baltimore moved out of that Crosby trade due to cold feet.
I mean, I understand it. I understand it. We live in that age of skepticism and people question, especially people that don't really know me or know the Ravens culture and the Ravens organization. So I understand it. I've got a responsibility to the Ravens, to this community, to our fans, and to Steve Bisciotti to do what we think is best for the club. And that's what we always try to do. Every decision we make is based on this idea, is this the best thing for the Ravens? But nobody's more upset about this than me. Gutted by it, actually. And so a big regret for me. But we will move on as a football team, and I think there's many opportunities for us to grow as a team, to become a better team, to build a roster, and to be the team that we want to be.
The sentiment that I've seen mostly on television and social media paints the Ravens as the villains, and they did the Raiders and Crosby dirty. But the fine print of any deal in any sport is that it is pending a physical. Crosby, of course, was coming off knee surgery, and he was in Baltimore Tuesday with his family. Something spooked the Ravens. Now, if it was all contrived and cold feet, the line immediately forms at the Raiders' door to now bid on one of the very best at his position who's suddenly available again, right? I mean, the Cowboys were in there trying to make a deal before Baltimore trumped it with 2 firsts, and their doctor reviewed the same medical information on Tuesday, according to our Adam Schefter. The Cowboys going to make another offer? They could. Ravens, meanwhile, were very fortunate they could immediately pivot to Trey Hendrickson, who suddenly had the leverage to get to a number that nobody else in the league seemed willing to reach. Baltimore needed a pass rusher. He was there, and now he will be moving to Baltimore.
Maxx Crosby. Ocho, Raiders broke the news that the trade had sending Maxx Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens for 2 first-round draft picks had been rescinded. Raiders alleged in a statement that the Ravens had backed out of the agreement reached 4 days earlier. It was then reported that medical concerns arose during Crosby's physical and were a catalyst for the dissolution of the deal. Ravens GM Eric DeCosta said today, nobody is more upset than him. Gutted by it, actually, big regret for me. But we will move forward as a football team. DeCosta added that losing center Tyler Lindenbaum to the Raiders, the Ravens began envisioning a possibility of pairing Crosby with with Hendricks, whom the team signed today. But Crosby's medical outlook prevented the possibility from materializing. James Slater reported that the Ravens considered renegotiating the Crosby trade to account for the team's discomfort with the edge rusher's prognosis. Ultimately, however, the team opted to withdraw from the deal entirely. Ocho, we don't normally see this. Now, the Ravens have been in a situation where, if I remember correctly, the Brock Marion, they really liked him, but he had a shoulder issue. Michael Brockers had a knee issue, and they rescinded the deal that was on the table. But you're talking about a Maxx Crosby. He did have a meniscus injury. Reports are that he had been dealing with this all year. This happened started bothering him in the offseason. He played through it. He ended up having surgery, and the type of surgery that he has, that's somewhere between a 3 and a 6 month recovery time. And I don't know if it's a lateral meniscus or medial meniscus, but that is a long, because he had it torn, and I guess he had it repaired. If what the reports are true, that's a big timetable, but that puts him on to be recovered probably around June, Ocho. Training camp starts about 6 weeks later in late July. So who knows? Like I said, it could be early June, could be late June, but still he would have 3 weeks, and I'm sure he'd be a limited participant, and you kind of build him up to get him ready to go come September. When you heard that the trade for Maxx Crosby had been rescinded, what did you think? And you're like, okay, what's going on?
I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that, especially a player like Maxx Crosby that's an impact player that makes your team exponentially better right away. Just his presence alone, and the fact that they rescinded it, I didn't know what was going on. And the first thing that dawned on me, well, maybe he failed his physical. Obviously, that's the only thing I could think of, because I know a player himself wouldn't say, you know what, I don't want to be here, and he lets the team knows he doesn't. He rather wishes not to be here. But once that did happen, I thought about it. Well, understanding that they knew he had a knee issue. They knew about
Correct. He
they
had knee surgery.
knew about the knee surgery. I mean, I'm confused. What did you expect the physical to look like? Obviously, he's in rehab. Obviously, he's recovering. He would probably be ready in time for football season to play. And the fact that he played on it and had 10 plus sacks, or maybe 10 sacks this season, and he was forced to sit out the last 2 games of the season, I think he would be okay. He would recover. So I'm confused on why they chose to do this, why they chose, to rescind him being there. It makes no sense to me. And I like the fact that they were going to try to pair Hendrickson and Crosby together. Hell, that they would have been
Yes.
hell on wheels if they were able to pull that off.
Yeah, I think if you really look at it, Henderson might be a better pure pass rusher. But overall, I think because Crosby plays the run so much better
Yes.
than Henderson, I think he gives them a dynamic. And, you got to have somebody that can set the edge. And Maxx Crosby can set the edge, but he can also become very
During the
disruptive,
pass.
pressure your quarterback, and
Yes.
get to your quarterback. Henderson, we've seen over the last couple of years in which he wasn't injured. You see the numbers
Yes.
that he's put up. He is a pure pass rusher, drafted by the New Orleans Saints, and ended up going to became a free agency and goes to
Yes.
Cincinnati and played extremely well. Reports are that he probably took a little less money to go to Baltimore, but I think there were some hard feelings. He's like, you had years to
Yes.
get this done. Now all of a sudden you want me because I could potentially be going to a division rival. Ocho, look, I agree with you at everything
Yes.
that you said. They knew he had surgery, and maybe you're looking at it because you're looking at it long term because you got Maxx Crosby. I think you owe him $100 and something million on
Right.
that contract now. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong in chat. Forgive me if I'm misspeaking. I think this is the only year in which he has guaranteed money on the
Okay.
contract. So now I'm looking at it, Ocho, and he's only 29. Okay, yes, he had surgery on
Yes.
the knee. But what doctors can see is that what you, to the naked untrained eye,
Right.
can't see is degeneration. Now, it looks good this year, but what happens next year? And as we move on, now you're talking about somebody that's dealing with degeneration
Right.
in the knee. So I got a very arthritic right knee, same thing with the left knee. And I got basically bone on the lateral side, which is the outside, and I'm damn near bone on the inside, which is the medial
Yes.
meniscus. And what has happened as I've gotten older, stuff start to happen. This is what, and you see it with a lot of old people, Ocho, that didn't
Right.
play sports. Your body
Yes,
just get
yes.
older, and cartilage starts to dissipate, and you get that bone on bone. I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where I can afford, great medical care, and I don't have to all these hang-ups. I can go, okay, what's going on? Now, insurance company wouldn't take care of whatever I had going on, so I had to pay for my own MRI.
Right.
No problem. And then I go to one doctor. He says, okay, you can do X, Y, and Z. I go come to the doctor out here. I'm at Curlin Job and go to the doctor that did my hips, and he looks at it like, well, Shannon, let me explain it to you. It's an X, Y, and Z, so forth and so on. But, you got degenerative needs, and eventually, hey, I'm not telling you anything that you didn't already know. You're going to have knee replacement. If not one, probably both of your knees. But the right knee that I'm looking at now, you're going to have to. So I think that's what the Ravens doctors are looking at, that, okay, yeah, it's healing up properly, but we see some degeneration in this knee. And that's never good because, to be on the hook for a knee that could be, not just me speculating. Now, I haven't talked to anybody, but I'm saying as a doctor, you probably look at it as Ravens, like, hold on now. In order for this to make sense to
Right.
us, Ocho, because you got to realize what we're giving up. We're giving up the number 14 pick this year, and who knows what that pick. You hope that if the trade would have gone through, we're somewhere 32. Ideally, it'd be
Right.
32. If we give up the 32 pick next year, you know what that means, Ocho? We won the Super Bowl.
Most definitely.
31, that means we were in the Super Bowl.
Honestly,
29-30, 29-30,
Yeah.
Ocho, we were in the championship game.
this is
Go ahead.
what I'm thinking about. You think about a player that's 29 years old. 29 years old.
Yeah.
A player like Maxx Crosby, that's a disruptor. He's been in the NFL for a few years. And if you take an MRI, if you do an MRI of all the players that have 8, 9, or 10 years or more, I'm sure there's something alarming on everybody's MRI if you look at it. It always is.
Yes.
Nobody is 100% healthy. Everyone has issues, whatever it may be. I just know the Maxx Crosby that we saw that was on the field last year with the Las Vegas Raiders was an impact player, and he made a difference every time he was out there. Even doing a losing effort, he was still a disruptor. He still was able to set the edge. He was still able to disrupt the pass depending on who they were playing. It really didn't matter. No one can stop him. You can only hope to contain a player like Max. So to let him go because of what you
Yeah.
see, in an MRI when he was already hurt last year and he's recovering, he has rehab, and you doctors have the resources to get him as healthy as possible. And you know what you get with a almost healthy or even 90% or 95% Max Crosby, and you let him go and understanding what he can do for your team and making your team exponentially better, especially if you pair him with Henderson. I'm like, I don't see. Listen, it's a business decision on their part. I just understand as great as he is, even with a messed up knee, where he's gonna recover, where he's gonna rehab, there's no way I sit him back. But obviously, I don't own the goddamn Ravens. It ain't my decision.
And you ain't got $100+ million
I
tied
mean,
up. But here's the thing, Ocho. What if I told you can get a very similar player? Hold up. And this is what they do. Ocho, what if I told you I could get you a similar house for about $6 to $7 million cheaper? The payments will be cheaper monthly. Pretty much the same house. Maybe a 500 square foot different. But it's gonna be probably over the course of it, I'll probably save you about $28 million. But I'm gonna get you a very similar house right there, a 2 acre lot, nice size, infinity pool, probably about 12,000 square feet, 7 baths, full baths, 2 half baths, 8 bedrooms, gorgeous, a theater. If I told you I can get you a similar house to the one that you really love, but I'm gonna save you $28 million, would you be interested? And you're not gonna have to give up those 2 first-round picks. Would you? Could I interest you in that?
You could, but I'm in the now right now. I'm in the now. I'm not worried about down the road. I'm trying to.
Okay.
If I'm playing poker, I'm putting all my cards on the table. I'm putting all the cards on the table, and I'm trusting my doctors to an extent because I want Maxx Crosby here.
You got to.
I want Maxx Crosby here. We got Trey Henderson in the building. We're negotiating his contract. We have Max in the building. I'm taking all my cards and I'm putting on the table. I'm out.
But here's the thing.
I'm taking a gamble. I'm taking a gamble.
I'm not taking a gamble with 2 first-round picks. If I can get them at a lower rate, I can
You
take
talk
a
about
gamble.
2.
I'm not taking.
You talk about 2 first-round picks. You don't know what you're getting. There's no telling those 2 first-round picks that can come in to make any goddamn difference.
But what if his knee doesn't hold up this year? What if that knee is bad and then I'm stuck? What if that knee is like Dante Culpepper's knee? Then what do I do?
How did he look before they forced him?
How did Dante Culpepper?
We're not talking about Dante Culpepper. We talking about
injury?
Maxx Crosby, the one that played all season.
You gotta base it on the medicals, Ocho.
He was hurt all season long and he gave you 10 sacks. What are we talking about?
No, he didn't.
They made him sit out the last 2 games.
If you go back and look at it, look at the numbers. Trey Henderson versus Maxx Crosby, 2019 to where they are now. Who has more sacks? Who has a higher pressure rate?
I don't have the numbers in front of me.
And I can get Trey Henderson. I can get Trey Henderson for about $5 to $7 million a year cheaper, and I don't have to give up ish. So I can get Ocho. I can get you in this house, and you don't have to put a down payment.
I understand what you're saying, Unc. But I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from a different standpoint. As a team, as an organization, that continues to miss in the first round, as a team and an organization that was horrible on defense last year, especially at the beginning of the season. How bad our backing is or was, constantly getting beat. How can I make a difference? I'm gambling. This is what it's all about.
Oh, Joe, but you make it seem like Trey Henderson. You make it seem like Trey Henderson is a bum. The man had 35 sacks in 2 years.
I'm not calling him a bum. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying he had 2. Listen,
but I'm saying I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying you making it seem like Maxx Crosby is just exponentially. Hold on. This is not a Myles Garrett situation. No. If you're talking about Myles Garrett, okay, we're having a conversation because that's a 2-time defensive player of the year and a guy that has like 125 sacks in like 8,
but
9 years.
You mean to tell me I get the best of both worlds? I get the best of both worlds. Now, on one hand, I have a player who's injured, who just had surgery, but I understand what I get based off the small sample size of how I've seen him in Las Vegas, and what he's done on an injured knee. I'm trusting in I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the doctors. I'm trusting rehab. I'm trusting all
You
the
just
he has
trusting who doctors? So why do you have those doctors on payroll if you're not going to trust them to properly evaluate players that are coming in that you're going to have to spend $100+ million and give up first round pick this year, which is number 14, and next year's first rounder for a first rounder? I can understand if it's
Yeah.
32, no problem. That means we
Right.
won the Super Bowl. But and I get it. Drew Brees had a very similar situation. Miami Dolphins flunked his shoulder on the physical. He goes to New Orleans, and we
And
know
see,
what happened.
now the same thing could happen.
And
Same thing
it
could
could
happen.
be, it could.
Same thing could happen. You know what? And for them causing this mess, this is what I'm hoping, huh? This is what I'm hoping. Now, I'm not a crystal ball, but most of the time since we've been on the show, sometimes I've been right. I've been right 98% of the time when I talk about
Okay.
players going certain places and it's come to fruition. You know what would be a funny thing that the Bengals could do? You know what would be a funny
What?
thing that the Bengals could do? The Bengals could take the
Go get
hey,
Maxx
they can
Crosby?
go get Maxx Crosby. They could take that chance. They can trust in our doctors. They can trust in the rehab process and hoping he's back and knowing even with a non-healthy Maxx Crosby, we saw what he did last year. We saw what he did last year
Ocho.
where the Raiders forced him to sit those last 2 games out. I would
Yes,
love for it to
but
happen.
Ocho.
I would love for it to happen.
But the thing is, now you're saying I can get Maxx Crosby. I don't have a problem. I have a problem if the knee is as bad as the Ravens doctors think it is. We don't know. I'm an untrained eye. You're an untrained eye. But if it's as bad as the doctors and the Ravens believe it is, 2 first-round picks is off the table. Now he goes somewhere else, and I have to give up a 3rd-round pick or a 2nd and a 5th-round pick. Now that's a deal. But 2 first-round picks and got to pay him $33 million a year. Come on, Ocho.
I hear you, Unc. I hear you, Unc. But I'm willing. I'm willing to take the chance. I'm willing, just like owners do all the time. They take chance.
Well, you're not going to be no
Hey,
GM. You gonna get.
but
You're about to
listen,
be Nico
but
Harris.
you have to think about it though. Hey, chat, stay with me real quick. You have to think opportunities like this to get a player that can change the direction of your franchise, especially defensively, don't come around that often. He don't come around that often. Even with the limping Crosby, he makes a difference. We have to understand who we're talking about now. We're not just talking about just the guy. We ain't talking about a Jag. Now,
No.
Jag,
No healthy. He's the top of the pecking order. He's the top
exactly.
5
So
DN.
that's why
He's the top 5
that's
edge,
why
no
I would be a
question.
little hesitant. Okay, we got a little hiccup. Okay, we understand he had surgery, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how. I understand how you feel on it. I'm curious. I don't have my chat up. I'm curious to see what the chat thinks about it, but I would take that chance.
I think they're back and forth, Ocho. Now it could be a total situation like this. Buyer's remorse. Like, damn. We gave up 2 first-round picks, number 14 pick this year. We don't know what 27 is going to be. We're going to have to pay him somewhere 32, 33, 34 million dollars a year. And the knee situation. Or we can go get Trey Hendrickson, pay him $5 to $7 million cheaper per year and not give up anything. Ocho, I can get you in this house. No down payment.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save you $28 million. So, and the thing is, a house, I'm saving you $28 million and you don't have to put no money down.
I'm
liking this.
Hey, you play poker?
I do play poker.
I'm not a gambler. I'm cheap. I'm financially celibate. I'm financially celibate. But in this situation, there's certain situations as a GM, as an owner, understanding how bad I was, understanding where my weaknesses are, especially defensively. And it all started. We talked about it all season goddamn long. Not only was the back end bad, hell, they couldn't get no goddamn pressure on nobody. This is one where I'm folding. If I got a hand, I'm folding based on who the player is, regardless of what
No, do you mean to tell me you're gonna play the hand? Fold means you throw your cards in.
I'm throwing my cards in on Crosby. He coming. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
No, if you can't throw your cards in, you throw your cards in.
Oh.
So in other words, you saying you shoving, you going
yes,
all in.
I'm going all in with the
all
surgery,
in. Okay.
whatever. Forget. Listen,
Okay.
if DaCosta, is that his name, DaCosta?
Yeah, Eric DaCosta.
I would listen to what the doctors say. Okay, what? This is what you see? Okay, you know what? I'm taking a chance on him anyway. I'm taking a chance on him with the bull.
Hell no. I'm not so, because anytime you start getting $100 million, you got to go to the owner with that. So he's going to ask, he's going to come in there. He's gonna want to sit down with
Yeah.
Dr. Curl. I know Leanne
Hmm.
Curl. She was the team doctor. She was there
Yeah.
when I was there. He's
Yeah.
bringing her in. What do you think, Doc? Look, I understand the player that he is, but it's risky.
I like.
It's risky.
I'm taking that risk. We ain't talking about just anybody. We talk about a top 5
I
player at
get
his
it.
position that can change. Dog, can you imagine Henderson on one side, Crosby on the other? Like,
Hold up, before you go any further, Diana Rossetti reported as part of the proposed trades for Maxx Crosby, the Ravens were also prepared to sign him to a revised contract that would have paid him near the top of pass rushers market. Max agent CJ LeBoy responded with 2 words: fake news. So everybody keeps saying that the goal, the objective was to sign Crosby and
right.
Henderson. Maxx Crosby's agent said basically that's not true. Crosby still could get traded, but they're not getting no first round on it. They're not getting no first. I don't believe they'll get a first round on it. Now, Ocho, because here's the thing with the Raiders spent $250 million bringing in new players because they thought they were going to have Crosby number
off the books. Yeah.
Now, the question is, do you rehab him, keep him, or do you try to move him on? Me personally, you're definitely not getting 2 firsts. I don't believe you can get a first, but maybe a second and a fifth.
Second and a third. Second and a third. Second and third. Hey, Mr. Brown, Mike Brown. I know we got a lot of Bengal fans in the chat. Hey, he coming to Cincinnati, huh? He coming to Cincinnati. Why not? Why not? Make it make sense. And you know what? I like the fact that the Ravens did this. I like the fact that the Ravens played this game, you know? So basically, they telling you how they feel about you anyway. So what better message? What better message?
You go to a division rival.
And then not only that, now you got a chip on the shoulder. Now you done pissed him off.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so that's how y'all feel?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. And how can he get him back? He can get him back by his play on the field. He can get it.
Yep.
And that's the type of player he is.
Do you think this hurts Baltimore's reputation around the league to have a deal in place? Because the deal is not consummated until the player, now he has to pass that team that's trading for him. Doctors, physical. They have to be okay with it. Do you think this hurts the Ravens' reputation? Because prior to this, for the most part, the Ravens' reputation has been perfect, pristine.
No,
you think
absolutely
this hurts
not. Absolutely not. It's still the Baltimore Ravens. They still are who they are. When it comes to business, when it comes to money, players are going to go where they're wanted. Players are going to go where they're valued. If money talks, they will be there. Now, for us, the talking heads and those on the outside looking in, maybe we might feel this situation might ruin their reputation. But when it comes to business, when it comes to money, and when it comes to it's time to get paid, and the team is willing to pay you, and if it happens to be the Baltimore Ravens and Mr. DaCosta and whoever else, they going.
Right. I agree with you, Ocho. I just think the thing is, it became you look at it like, damn, 2 first rounders. I don't think anybody else had that kind of number. You hear Dallas had a first and a second. You hear some teams have some other picks, but nobody a first, 2 firsts. But still, even first, when a guy coming off surgery, see, that's what, and I was telling you last year about Kirk Cousins. I said, Ocho, you giving up $180 million guaranteed for a guy that's coming off Achilles, a quarterback that he wasn't mobile to begin with? And you draft a quarter, and to exacerbate the matter, you take a quarterback with the number 8th overall pick.